Welcome to Focus On, Empowering Africa's Future, Mastering AI for Growth. In this episode, we will explore the innovative efforts to promote AI growth in Africa, and ways to harness the power of AI to drive economic development, create opportunities, and shape the continent's future. I'm your host, Sandrine Mutoniwase. Welcome to our studios in BC Africa. Can you start by telling us about what you do, about Digital Muganda? Just give us a brief background of it.
Digital Muganda, it's NLP, or Natural Language Processing, and Open Data Science, data sets. Digital Muganda is a natural language processing company and open data sets company with the focus of African languages. We work to create the basic infrastructure needed for AI to be able to speak in African languages.
Great. How does Digital Muganda's work in collecting and utilizing data in the 17 countries' African languages contribute to bridging the digital divide in Africa?
We need to talk, AI needs data. AI needs to be able to understand our language, and then we must have the data sets. So what we do is, and it's even in our name, we actually gather the communities and then we explain the work we are doing so that we can collect data. So it's based on the concept of Muganda, which is a Rwandan concept based on togetherness, where the community comes together. And our work with the 17 countries has been mostly focused. We started in Rwanda, but when we decided to scale, we worked with local partners. So these are people who are native to those to the country, who speak those languages, and then we work with them so that they can contribute and create those data sets.
Excellent. Can you elaborate on the Open Data for All, OD for All, and initiative, and how do you envision the creation of the data sets for 100 African languages impacting the development of AI-based voice solutions in Africa?
OD for All is the program that we have that we use to collect data. So we started in 2019. Once we did Kenya-Rwanda, we're like, okay, what's the next phase? We're like, there's over 2,000 African languages, and most of them are what we call low resourced. It means there is little to no resource. Oh, by the way, there was these data sets that came out that showed it collected the internet data, and it was found out that English, for example, is 45% of the data, but the Niger-Congo, which is part of the Bantu languages, made of 500 million, had only 0.002% of the data, which means when we are talking about AI, it would mean that it will be very difficult for AI to be able to understand those languages. So OD for All comes to bridge those gaps. Obviously, we cannot do 2,000 hours, so we have to do 100 hours, starting with the most spoken African languages.
Digital Muganda has developed innovative solutions before, like Banza, COVID-19, chatbot, and model LMS plugin. How do you see these solutions improving access to information services in the underserved languages, and what is next in your product development?
We've worked on different products. That one includes the Mbaza chatbot, which works within the health community, and one of those, it provides access to community health workers. So we have over 58,000 community health workers across Rwanda, and not everyone can speak English, so they need access to information. One case that happened with us was during the Marburg outbreak. One of the community health workers, the community asked them, what's Marburg? And then they have to find out that information. So the idea is, if we create a chatbot, now they will have a way to access that information. As for the Moodle LMS, it was on education, where we noticed that there's a lot of courses that exist in English, but we need to reach out for people who speak in Rwanda, and our focus was on digital literacy and entrepreneurship. So how can we, instead of having people translate, how can we automatically translate those courses and allow teachers to easily have access to those courses, and students to easily choose the language they are comfortable in learning those courses?
Interesting. Looking at the healthcare workers, how do you envision the the large language models and the CHWs in Africa, and what are the potential benefits and challenges of this approach?
We are looking at two approaches. The first one is to provide them basic information, so they have questions they can ask. It's an Ask Me Anything chatbot. And then the second one, it's a study, it's an ongoing study where we are looking how can we help them provide better care. So they already receive basic training. So is there a way to use LLM to say, okay, the patient has given you this information, can you ask this follow-up information, so that they can gather all the information. At first is to analyze if it can help them provide better care, but if not, it can also provide better information that will be later used by the nurses and the doctors. With regard to the challenges, LLM are probabilistic, so the answers are not always safe. So the question is, how do we ensure safety? Because community health workers, they cannot be held reliable compared to doctors. But how do we ensure safety so that the patients will be safe? It's a question, it's an open question, but I think with time, as we are deploying, we decided to go step by step, where we do not just put it out there, but we test to make sure that everything is good. And over time, as it learns more and as we understand how it works, it will be able to determine if it's safe, and once it's safe, we can deploy within the hands of the community of workers.
We're going to start with our first question. Tell us about your platform and the inspiration behind it, and what is the uniqueness in it?
Tech company that is deploying deep tech solutions for the mining industry. So I have background experience in applied geoscience, and as well as some skills in data science as well. So applied geoscience is that science that stands between the engineering world and the earth. So what we learned is how to actually do the assessment explorations to know where the minerals are for the mining extraction. I was under the mining faculty. So here is where the inspiration for MindTech came from. I was in my industry attachment. So I was gonna graduate in 2 years and start a career as a geoscientist at a mining, geologist at a mining firm. So seeing on how the premises were, and then what I kept hearing on the radio, right? We had an accident here, 10 people, 20 people were trapped and killed. Mali, we have had these people have died. So reportings kept coming in, and then I was thinking of, really, this is the job that I'm going to enter in 2 years. So I'm not any special of a human being. So in a 40-year span of that career, it's just a matter of time. The factors aggregated, I found myself in the similar situation. So I had to think of what could I do to prevent myself of finding a job that doesn't risk my life like that. So I couldn't start another university, and then I was like 3 years in, so I would have lost a lot of time. So I started searching some skills. When I'll be graduating, I'll be getting a job in those skill sets. So I took data science, especially machine learning, and then looking myself being a data scientist at a different firm rather than being a mining firm. So in the middle of the module, that's when I got introduced to the process of design thinking solutions. So rather than picking other ideas on what to design think of, say like, why wouldn't I start with something that is making me move from my career to starting a new thing that is making my degree worthless. So, I started ideating on safety challenges for the mining industry, and since then we've worked and was able right now to develop a solution that could not only solve the safety aspect of the mining premises, as well as production and operation efficiencies in the industry. So how do we do that? We provide an ERP customized software solution for the industry not like the usual ones where the board directors are the one using the solutions. The sophisticated solution that is used by the site engineers, people who are on site, entering data for different operations and within different departments, from the geology, mining, surveying, mineral processing, transportation. All those workers on site input data, and with those data we are able to collect them, clean, process, analyze, and for furthers we give them prediction. We give prediction using machine learning, and those prediction helps in the first place safety optimization at the working premises. Second, production increase, whereas we help you track in real time the way the mining is advancing. How many meters are you advancing? The life of a mine, how long are you with according to the total reserve that you have done in your exploration, and how do you drive your tunnel linings according to the high grade concentration for you to get much returns on investment that you are giving on the site.
Excellent. Beyond mining, Kelvin, where else do you see potential application of this sensor system in other sectors or industries?
After ideation and coming up with this solution and seeing that it could be a business idea that could not only impact the community but as well as provide jobs and to other people, and then the social impact it could make, because we also venture into environment impact assessment as well as compliance. We see this MineTech as an idea that could scale even up to oil and gas industry, manufacturing, and as well as construction. As in our vision, after 5 years of working on solution tailored to the mining industry, we are launching ourselves into the construction and oil and gas industries as well. After making sure that we've built a solution that the KPIs are showing that it impacts positively this mining industry, we are ready to venture to other sectors such as the oil and gas and as well as the construction.
Excellent. What are the key requirements for scaling this technology, and also what are the challenges that you are anticipating currently?
The potential scalability of this solution, first of all, starts with the digital infrastructures. We are building AI solution, which means high computation, and as well as data acquisition is one of the key, primarily aspect that we need to first of all focus on, because for us to give better prediction, we need to get as much more data as possible and tailored to the landscape of the landscape and the formation that we currently have. So we made a challenge whereas we were using the data from large-scale mining operations of companies that have a track record of their data, the international companies, but most of them use open mining. And then when we find the case study in Rwanda, many industries are using underground mining. So proving us that we had this barrier of how do we train our models to provide accurate predictions for the different types of operations. So that was a challenge and it was mitigated. We had been able to talk with Gamiko, it's a mining company in Rwanda, helping us through the way on how do we get data tailored to our own formation to give accurate predictions. So that was the case scenario for, first of all, for the data acquisition. The digital infrastructures, as well as when training the model, you need high cost of investment regarding the digital infrastructure. I mean, the bill that comes along where your models are deployed, where your models are being trained. The bill that comes to how many users tokens that are being requested per minute by your stakeholders. So those so far are those challenges, and we are looking into how do we create our own digital infrastructure hosted here in Rwanda to facilitate as well as the policy regarding the data, and ensuring that we minimize the bill regarding the digital infrastructures that we are currently using. And this would be will be like a sustainable way to have them here, and as well as that will minimize when we are scaling as well. Because as scaling, using the similar providers, it could add on a little bit of investment, but having them here, maintaining them here, it would facilitate our path as we scale.
Let us know the inspiration behind its existence.
So Sync Discovery is an AI-powered platform that allows independent artists from underserved markets in Africa to get their music played all over the world. So when they come onto Sync Discovery, we distribute their music to over 25,000 radio stations globally. Then they are able to track the airplay and also their royalties. So the inspiration behind it, I've worked in the music industry for 12 years as an artist manager, a brand manager, a publicist, a record label and agent executive. So I've seen the problem firsthand with the artists that I was working with throughout the years. And also, my brother, my late brother now, was also an artist. So seeing him teach himself how to produce, right in the bedroom, and going to win awards at a later stage in his life, sparked that inspiration in me for artist development. So I got into the music space in that way.
Okay, how do you think this platform helps to solve the income challenges independent artists have been facing for so long?
90% of artists globally, even here in Africa, struggle to earn a meaningful income, because of the problem of discoverability and monetization, which is the problem we are solving with radio, right? So people might ask, why are we talking about radio in 2025, but they don't know that, 70% of the population in Africa still listens to radio weekly. In Europe, it's 80%. In the US, it's 83%. So people are still, focused on radio. So we are helping artists to reach that audience and monetize it. So if you are being discovered on radio, you generate royalties from radio, but also people discover you on radio and then they go to stream your music. So that trickles down, right? So another thing that we've observed as well. So when we expose these artists to radio stations, they 10x their income revenue. Just by being on radio active, across the world, So these are artists that move from not earning anything from their music to start earning from between 1,000 to 3,500 USD on radio annually. So that might seem like, a small, amount to earn, but if you are not getting it anywhere, it adds into your revenue stream as a musician, because we understand that artists really struggle to monetize their music.
Let's talk more about the fair distribution. How do you ensure fair distribution and visibility for the independent artists? Yes, how do you ensure that it's done in a clear way?
When we launched on the 8th of November 2024, we were focusing generally just any artist. And then we noticed that, more established artists, they don't really need the platform as much as, upcoming artists, independent artists. So in our private beta, stage, we started prioritizing early stage artists. So what we look at, we're focusing on artists that have low following on social media, artists that have a low listenership on Spotify. So we help them to surface across the radio stations, and therefore they start being recognized in their own regions. So now we're leveling the playing field from established artists to emerging artists, and then upcoming artists. Because what we really built this platform for is those bedroom studio artists that don't have any income, but they have the talent. But no one is able to discover them, because there's a lot of artists that are releasing music, So on a daily basis, there's more than 120,000 songs that are released on streaming platforms. So you can imagine how difficult it is as an upcoming artist to be discovered, in that huge pool of other artists that are releasing music on streaming platforms. And now with, the proliferation of generative AI, it's going to be more and more difficult for artists to surface, because if currently people, they're releasing more than 120,000 songs every day, that number is quickly going to skyrocket to 500,000 because of generative AI. That it has made things easy for even people that are not really talented in music to make music and release that music. So we are bridging that gap to make sure that the real talent surfaces and the real talent gets paid.
iMade is it's a creative agency. It's an AI creative agency. Actually, it's the first creative agency from Senegal. We do video production. We work for advertising also, and we do music production. We also do AI training for people who want to learn how to use AI and want to gain skills in video producing with AI. That's what we do.
Excellent. Can you tell us about some of the challenges that you've been tackling so far, and how have you been helping the industry to improve more? Like, what's the uniqueness that you have brought to the table so far?
Okay, so at first AI was something that was not really controllable, and then the technology got better, and so far, like from there, we started to use AI as a tool for creativity. So we always put the ID first, and because we're focused on storytelling of what happened in the past, historical reconstitution, and also bringing back to life some forgotten span of our history, right? And for educational purpose, and also for entertainment, for example. Like in the music industry, for example, AI is like a wonderful tool because you can create like music, you can create like video production without having the artist to be involved fully, just by taking like like faces of the artist and using him for a different purpose, for example, right? And like one of the major like obstacles, like of course, is the people, because with the deep fakes and everything, it's really like how do you say, delicate, like to use AI, and we have to have like a certain kind of standard and a way to use it, like which is in a how do you say, like something that is regulated, right? And that was our major concern, like when we started. But when we went on creating those videos, like a reconstitution of the past, it was just like wonderful. So to see something that we hadn't seen before, brought back to life, and that's what makes it like something that's very amazing for us. You know, that's a wonderful educational tool, and for entertainment purpose also.
With this trend of AI that is coming up, how are you cooperating, or how are you partnering with creative personnel, musicians? How are you working together to make sure that this AI is well incorporated in this industry that you're working on?
Okay, some artists are really like reluctant to use AI because, you know, they want to create stuff. AI is not the end of it. AI is a tool, actually, okay, for example, at first when we had those first like engineering programs, it was maybe perceived as cheating, right? It's the same as AI today. We just have to know how to use AI in order to let the artist be free of his creation, be free to create what he wants, but we boost it with AI. It's easier now to make like a music video with AI. It's easier to make like sounds with AI, sound design or stuff like that. So that's why we integrate with the participation of the artist also. Of course, we use AI to put together a product that is above the expectations.
Great. Africa has a really high number of unemployed youth. How are you trying to extend this knowledge to the youth in Senegal? How are you planning to also train some other youth there to equip them with the skills that is needed on the market today?
Okay, iMade, our main vision, our main purpose, like where we want to go, is to create a studio to gather people around this AI learning, because people are really like amazed by the possibilities of AI, right? This is something that can be seen as how do you say, like educationally fun. This is not something that's heavy, you know. It's easy to learn something that you love, right? So Having a camera is very expensive. Being on an AI platform is less expensive, and it can give the same results. So we show them how to, with our processes, with how we work, we show them our processes, and if it's appealing to them, they're just gonna cope with it and just do the work. So we are calling on people. We have some artists that are endorsing our brand too. They are really famous, rap artists, singers, and everything. So it can be something that can attract people to use this AI tool. If we see the video, it's something that strikes us, the accuracy of the AI generated videos, right? And of course, someone is gonna just ask himself, how do they do that? And we are here to show them. We have programs, we have internet stuff that you can download. We have our processes, they are online. It's totally free. If you want to know, you can know.
That brings us to the end of Focus on Empowering Africa's Future, Mastering AI for Growth. Thank you for watching.